All right, everyone, welcome back. It is time for an update on the 1939 project. It's not a full rebuild, but it's pretty intense, and there's a lot going on, and we're overdue to give you an update. So stand by, and thank you again, as usual, for watching and sharing with your friends. All right, JB, here's a car that is obviously in giant transition right now.
Yes, it is.
This is the 1939 project.
Yes.
Tell us what the latest update is on this car.
Well, we're going at it a little bit differently than the 38 because of the overall condition being better. This was a Northern California car, and so we're not having to do as much straightening. We got where we are now a lot faster than we did on the earlier car, so we're kind of pleased with that.
Yeah.
And we're not going to obsess over things like, see the undercoat here? That's factory undercoat. That's not rust.
Really, that's factory?
That is factory undercoat.
Wow.
If you paid for undercoating, when the car was coming down the line, they just shot it wherever they could get it.
Okay, and that's
the only place they could get it on this car. So, that's where the water would build up in the mud.
That's the way to. That's
if they were an East Coast car, then that would be an appropriate place to put it.
Sure.
You notice there isn't any here, thank God.
Yeah.
But we're not going to take that off because it's original, and it's not. There's no rust there.
Right.
So what we'll do is we'll clean it really well, get the dirt off of it.
Yep.
Then we'll prime it and repaint it just in a matte black, and press on. What he's got here is a glazing putty.
Pro glaze. Okay.
Yes, it is, and this is good stuff.
Finishing.
It's a little expensive. I found out the hard way that if you save money on the material, it's not a good thing.
It costs you labor, right?
Oh, it's like 50 to 1. Don't do that.
Right.
If the Bondo is $10 more a gallon, just pay the man. Okay.
Right.
Don't buy cheap anything. There's a reason it costs more. It's because people who do this for a living know it's worthwhile, so they pay more and they want to get more because they want these paint jobs to last. This car was a reasonably good car, but remember that the paint was checked.
Yep.
Probably the primer was not very good. We found some bondoed areas that weren't immediately apparent, so we ground all that off and started over.
Right.
But here's a case where all we needed was a very, very tiny amount of material to get us back where we wanted to go. So we just use a glazing putty. This is catalyzed glazing and putty. Now there are two kinds.
Okay.
There's air dry, which I don't care for.
Okay.
Because I think it probably shrinks to some lesser degree. This is catalyzed, so it's frozen. It's going to be there. It's not going to move around. It's not going to shift on you. It's not going to shrink and make weird patterns underneath the paint later.
Does catalyzed mean it's like a chemical reaction going on as opposed to an air dry?
Exactly. It's a very sophisticated, thinner version of body filler. Okay. And it's specifically made to be thinner, such that it's not thick and doesn't have any air bubbles in it. You put it on, and you can see that it's almost perfect in the beginning, because we're only putting on a 1/16 of an inch, and we're going to sand off most of that.
Right.
So then we're going to go to the filler primer, which will blend these areas. You can see that we've completely stripped this area, and there were little bits of Bondo here and there from probably some previous incident. Not real bad. This car get hit in the right front with the passenger side, and we've pulled it out and straightened it. And then when the bumpers go back on, of course, we're going to have to straighten them as well. But we've really got the car a lot further in less time than normal, because this car kind of lived a charmed life, and so that was a nice thing to happen, so that we can get to the paint quicker. Now this car is going to be the same ruby red that we like, and that's the customer's wish, and that's, I think, a really great color for it. When the mob of Zephyr coupes are not here altogether, which happens a lot.
Doesn't happen a lot, right?
Don't plan on passing yourself on the freeway in LA, because you won't.
Right.
So once they get out by themselves, that you won't be so much aware of the fact that they're all red.
No, it won't matter at all.
It won't matter. In fact, they'll just be oohing and awing.
Yeah.
If you notice up in here, we don't have much of anything except for a little bit of undercoat. You can see some on the frame there. and underneath there's gobs of it. You know,
But
we're not going to spend.
It is truly an amazing car considering its age, and this is all
it really
original
is.
back
It really
here.
is. If they're
really
not in a
amazing.
wet climate, the metal's very thick. They're undercoated. These cars were made to last, and it's not a cliche when you talk about Lincolns. Lincolns are a tremendous survival rate.
Right.
The few that they built.
Yeah.
That's their problem, is that they didn't build that many in the first place.
Right.
We had a call from one of our former customers, by the way, about the, he's overseas and he's got one of our coupes, and he's saying that the seam right here in the window is leaking. Now, the original, which I believe this might be, there is no crack there, if you notice. If you look at an aftermarket one, the windshield rubber seal there, it just goes around and stops right there.
No kidding.
So, I mean, what's the dumbest thing you could do? Is put a crack in the rubber right
bottom
where
in
the
the middle,
water can
yeah.
run right into the dash. It's just like this
Oh,
guy
man.
here, you know, same
Right,
problem.
right.
So we're gonna make up a vulcanized version that we get, have
Okay.
made for us specially. We're gonna send off. He's overseas. We're just gonna complimentary give it to him. He also had a problem with his headlights, so we're gonna 39. He has a 39 coupe, so the headlight lenses are just becoming impossible and really expensive. So we decided to go into that, and we're gonna be remanufacturing those for 39 specifically. For some reason, they just are much harder. So, and we're going to send him a couple of sets.
Oh, cool.
So that he has those on hand. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't complaining or anything. He was just telling us, hey, can you get me this stuff? Well, it's a chance for us to weigh in and help him.
Yeah.
And just give him the stuff, you know, instead of always having your hand out asking for money.
That's cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, this thing is marching along. We saw over here that he's already getting ready to guide coat this.
Right.
So he's already made the decision that this body is, at this juncture, is pretty much ready. So as he marches across, he'll do the same thing, as long as he doesn't find a lot of filler or something. And you can see here where the grind line, normally, you know, damage is on the bottom part of the car, obviously. In this, we're not really worried about finding problems up top. That's generally not what happens.
Yeah.
But that's why he stopped right where he stopped.
Okay.
Okay. Now the tail gets banged up pretty badly, and you can see this one is no exception.
Sure.
So we've got to clean all that up, and this is a 9, so they have a little bit different tail than an 8.
Right.
Excuse me. Yes, this is a 9.
Yep.
There was an 8 sitting here.
Yeah, just the other day.
And yes, and they're very similar. So,
Yeah.
anywho, so we also got rid of remember the big nasty thing that came off a Peterbilt or something. I don't know where it came
right.
from.
So you got
But we got them appropriate, and we're still struggling with whether we want to spend the time to make this a hidden gas tank cover. The owner is thinking on that, and we're just going to let him ruminate on that as much as he wants. So
Sure.
we got a fender. The front fenders are inside, and Balthazar's actually doing those.
Right.
And that's why you had deja vu and you went out there.
Yeah, it's like, wait a second.
We just painted these fenders. Why aren't they painted?
Yeah.
It's another car.
Yeah.
So those will get painted. Those will also get put up in the archive so that they don't get scratched or bumped. You know, and we're going to be bringing the 38 fenders down to be color sanded buff because they're now 2 weeks old.
Okay.
And they've stabilized.
Yep.
And now we can
Now they can get-
and without them shifting around.
Is there a lot of difference in the fenders between the 8s
Not
and the 9s?
very much at all. Not very much at all.
Yeah, they seem very similar.
Yeah, they really are. Now the front ends are a little different. Front fenders are different. The backs are real similar, if not identical.
Yeah.
That's really about the end of it. Everything
Yeah.
else has slight variations between the 8s and the 9s.
Yeah.
Of course, the totally different sides because of the 38 still has the running board.
Right.
These have an abbreviated version, obviously.
And this kind of has a step, but it's hidden by the door when it's closed.
Yeah, this was again. We talked about this once. This was an attempt to, very often. This is when women started to drive cars, and of course, Lincoln was a great choice for women because easy to drive, comfortable, safe. So women are very discerning. So as it turns out, you should be paying attention because they're telling you what you should be doing, and you're doing what you are doing.
Right.
And and increasingly, since women buy more cars, especially now, the factories have said, whoa, you know, we need to start listening a little more closely to what they're saying, because what they want is what they're going to demand. And if you don't do it, the next guy will. But, but Lincoln really pretty much understood that very often, very early. And if you notice, even some of their period ads, there were women driving. And that was not that much the case quite yet. But the factories were coming around to the idea that women made a lot of these decisions, and if they were giving us good advice, we needed to be taking it.
Sure. And in this case, the covered step kept
the covered step
clean,
was
right?
Yeah, because running boards were quite often just covered with mud and dirt. You know, the roads were not that great back then.
Right.
And a lady in a nice dress gets into this car. Well, what's going to happen? She's going to drag her dress right over that muddy, nasty thing.
Right.
Well, this one is shielded by the door. The door actually comes out and covers this. So when she opens the door, she has a very clean running board to step over.
And for those interested, in a previous episode, we covered the kind of reshaping of the bottom of these doors, which is a tricky part of the car.
Yeah, these are really complicated, and we went through that. This particular car, they were better than normal, but they were also needed a lot of help. And it's one of the places you just have to quit being in a hurry. We took them apart. We replaced parts of them, and we discussed this, with the customer ahead of time. And if we don't do that stuff, and we just, slather mud over it like a lot of people do, you end up with it bubbling back out in a couple of years, and that's just not.
That's not what
these cars deserve a lot better than that.
Right.
Okay.
Very good. This is a great update. Thank you, JB.
You bet.